Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be making a book review about the Cruel Prince series. It consists of 3 books, so basically let me show it to you. It's quite heavy. These are the 3. Oh my god, it's so dusty. I literally just removed it from my bookshelf. Okay, so these are the 3 books. These are the 3 main books, and this one is an extra. Let me explain. So this is the first book. As you can see, I'm gonna have to flip it. So The Cruel Prince, this is the first book. The Wicked King, the second book. This one is my favorite, I think, in my personal opinion. And this one is the third one, The Queen of Nothing. And I really love the design of the books, all 3 of them. And this is an extra, and I'm gonna be talking about it more in the end. So The Cruel Prince, it's not actually about the Cruel Prince. So there are the main character is Jude Darte, and she's pretty like a normal girl living in the mortal world, and one day her entire family is brutally murdered. Don't worry, these are not the spoilers. This is just, what do you call that, prologue. And yeah, she is the main character, and her twin sister, I don't know how to pronounce her name, let's just call her T. Yeah, and her twin sister, both are just, having a normal day. And then this person, huge man, fairy man, and they're not that, nice fairies in this book. He comes over and murders her entire family, like in the sense her parents, and kidnaps these 2 girls and takes them away to another world, which is, God, let me show you the map. It's so beautiful. This Elfheim. And over here everyone's basically extremely beautiful. Everyone's immortal. Everyone has some kind of power. Not really, they don't have powers that much, but they're definitely the most enchanting and magical people to look at, because this is a land of magic. And that happens in the first part, first prologue of the book. And this made her just really a bitter person, losing both of her parents at a really young age. So both of these girls are kidnapped along with her sister Vivian. This completely changed her personality, and she lived with the murderer, who was now her stepfather. And she, let me remind you, she's a human being. She's just a mortal human being, and all of us, we have flaws, and so does she. And everyone in Fairyland, the land of Elfheim, they're extremely beautiful, extremely just glamorous and perfect to look at, but they're actually really mean and horrible creatures. And over there, she was treated like an outcast, and she was bullied, and this made her very, she didn't trust anyone, obviously, even the person who she was living with, also the murderer of her parents. And then there's a coronation of the king and his family and everyone. And over there, she meets the Cruel Prince, the other guy. So he himself, as the book says it, he's cruel and, very mean and not nice. And she, observes everyone there because she's truly fascinated by all of these people at the same time, but hates them, obviously, because they're so horrible, and all they care about is politics and drama. And this book, I think the first one, there's not, like, if you're looking for a book with romance in it, the first one definitely does not have any of it. But the first time I was reading it was like so intriguing, because it's a political drama. I'm not really a fan of those, but this is a fantasy book, and it, when you're reading it, it can be a little difficult, because we all know how fantasy books writings are. It definitely has improved my vocabulary a lot. And once I started reading this book, I couldn't put it down because of how intriguing it was. For romance in the first book, I would give it 3 out of 5 stars, because in the end it does get very, very interesting. It's a slow burn, and for those of you who cannot, for those of you who literally hate slow burns, do not read this book, because this is definitely one heck of a slow burn. That's why it's like 3 books. I personally enjoyed it. In most of the books, in the other books that I've read, slow burns are literally written so horribly. But in this book, it was like perfectly written. It has so many other aspects rather than just romance, because on Instagram, book talk and bookstagram or whatever, I've only seen people talk about the relationship of Jude and Carden. They don't really have much going on now. But they completely ignored the political drama of this book, and I loved it. Like the first book, it was written perfectly, and in a second book, the Wicked King, it gets way more interesting, and how these two characters work together as well. Jude and Carden, aka the Cruel Prince. It's very, interesting to see how much they hate each other, but still they have to work together because they have a common aim, common goal, and that's literally the entire part of the second book. And if I have to discuss more, I'm gonna have to do it in the second part of the video, because like I've just divided it into 2 parts. The first part is just gonna be the review, and the second part is gonna be a discussion. So yeah, anyway. What was I saying? Right. For romance, I would give it a 3 stars out of 5. And for thriller, I would definitely give it a 4. Like, I'm talking about all the books. Like, all together, thriller, it's definitely a 4 out of 5. Because they wrote it, like, Holly Black, she wrote it really well. And also the political drama, like, if you guys are into that, you can definitely read this book. And I think that's pretty much it for because I cannot discuss about these 2 books, the second and third, without spoiling it. So that was the first half without any spoilers, and the second part. Now we're gonna get into the discussion. So I don't think I have any criticism about this book at all, but I was very disappointed with the third book, The Queen of Nothing, because Carden and Jude, they've matured a lot, and their relationship has gotten way stronger and better. Slightly not but they didn't really show any moments of them being with each other, understanding each other, talking to each other. It's all about the crown and the drama and the politics or whatever. It was getting a bit too much in this one. I think they definitely should have added more scenes about Jude and Carden really getting to know each other more than they already do, and getting to understand each other on a personal level. They did not include that in this at all. And I think, according to romance, the second book was the best, because they were still at this like very awkward stage, you know what I mean? Like enemies, but some kind of tension is there. And I was like kicking my feet and reading it the entire time. The second one was very interesting. Also, a little bit about the characters. So there's this wonderful, it's kind of just like a picture book, but not really. So this is how the king of Elfhame learned to hate stories. This is like a extra cherry on top kind of to the series. So I'm gonna show you the characters. This is Carden Greenbear. He is the Cruel Prince. Let me talk a little bit about him. I'm gonna be so judged when I say this, but I definitely think he's misunderstood. Yeah, he is cruel, but there's a reason behind it. I mean, that does not justify it, obviously. But as you read the book, you see the layers of Carden, how he puts a tough exterior, but inside he's just like a person with parental issues. And a really sweet and nice person. Another fun fact about the people from Elfheim, they cannot lie. They have this thing where they can't lie. Maybe that's why they're so mean. Not really, but yeah, they can't lie. So that's interesting. That was Garden. This is my favorite freaking picture. Look at how beautiful these two are. This is Garden and this is Jude. I love this picture. And like they both definitely look exactly the way I pictured it in my head, you know? And this is not that good in my opinion. He just looks weird. Anyway. And yeah, this, I don't regret buying it. It was definitely interesting. So yeah, I think that's all I have to say. And I would definitely recommend this book to a person who regularly reads fantasy books, because I think regular rom-coms and fantasy books are like completely different. Rom-coms are like so easy to read and like easy paced and fast paced especially, and fantasy books are like completely the opposite to that. And a few months ago just last month I started reading this book, These Violent Delights, and before that I was just reading short, like fast-paced novels, romance novels, and then I started reading this book and I got so confused by the writing because they have like two different writings. And obviously it improves your vocabulary and everything, but we also love a fun book at the same time. But I think that's pretty much it for this video. I don't know if I covered a lot of topics. I will do better for the next one. And my current read, if anyone is interested, let me bring it out. Unravel Me. I'm gonna make a review about this as well. I don't know if I should like do one by one or all of it together. I loved the first book so much, and the second one, the first 150 pages were like freaking annoying, and then after the first 150 pages of this one, Unravel Me, it started getting interesting. Yeah. Now I'm in the really interesting part, so after this video, I'm gonna get back to reading it. And I think for the next, book review video, I may do better in explaining. Look at how my bed looks right now. It's like full of books. I feel like my tripod's gonna fall. Look at my bed right now. Okay, I'm wearing shorts. That's not underwear. Thank you guys so much for watching. And the next book review is definitely going to be better than this. I know that I definitely missed something or didn't discuss something, because